Hey everybody, it's Carla. Welcome to the Happy Bookmaker. How is everybody doing today? The day that I am doing this video is the day before Easter, so I hope you're all having a wonderful holiday weekend if you celebrate Easter, and I hope that tomorrow is a wonderful Easter for you. So I know that I said the next video that I do was going to be finishing the graduation memory book, but the week got crazy. I didn't have time to pull everything together. And I got a wild hair about this this little thing that we're going to do. So this is going to be a really simple and fun project and useful. When you go to the store, well, I should say when I go to the store, grocery store, I hate, and I hate to use the word hate because it's a strong word, but taking my purse in, because, you know, then it's like you can't leave it in the cart. You got to hang it on your body. You know, it falls off your arm, or you got to hang it across your body. And so often I will just stick my credit card and grocery card or whatever just in my pocket, which is fine, I guess. But I thought, you know, wouldn't it be nice to have a little sort of pocketbook, like an actual pocketbook that goes in a pocket, right? So the size, of course, would depend upon, you know, what you think would fit in a pocket that you wanted to, you know, the pocket that would be in your pants or your sweater or your, you know, hoodie or whatever you're wearing. So I have picked a size that I thought was appropriate for tucking into a pocket. And also, of course, obviously it could go in a purse if you still wanted some kind of a little pocketbook that went inside your purse, then it could probably be a lot bigger. But for me, I thought this would be really handy for tucking in a couple of cards and a little handmade notebook. And it'll be cute. It'll be very cheap to make because, you know, as George Banks said, I like the chipper chicken. So I like to do things economically, and, you know, if I'm using up things that I already have, why not? So let's get started. Okay, so this is going to come from, this is so easy. This is going to come from a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, just like old scrapbooking cardstock. And, you know, like most of us, I have a ton of these. So what I've decided to do is sort of not a trifold, but would it be called a quadrifold? I don't know. Like, it's going to fold in like this. So we're going to have a little compartment for credit cards, or like a grocery card, Sam's Club, and then maybe a credit card, maybe even your driver's license. And then also on the other side is going to be a little handmade notebook. So we're going to do notebooks a couple of different ways, because I have just started doing another kind of a notebook, which is the kind where you glue the what's that called? You know, the top of it, like you're actually binding it together with glue. And I'm using tacky glue, which is also PVA. So the old-fashioned way for me that I used to always do it, because sometimes I'm lazy and this is easier, is just to take your little stack of paper, and these are just cutoffs from papers that I use. And for a while I had a whole bunch of, they were like legal size papers that somebody gave to me because I couldn't use them. And so I would cut off the 3 inches, right? You know, to make 8.5 by 11. Well, I had all these cutoffs, so I've been making little notebooks. So, you know, taking a little stack, and then I'll staple it together and then glue on a little, you know, cover to cover up those staples. I've made a lot of little booklets like that. So we can do it that way, or we can do it this way. Now I've done this one ahead of time so that hopefully it gets dry by the time we need it. And then I'm going to show you also, if you don't know how to do that, how to do that. Okay, it's very, very simple. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. Okay, but the first thing we need to start with is actually like folding our cardstock. So just so you know, mine ended up being, yeah, it's pretty much 12. So it's like the whole width of the 12 by 12 sheet of paper, if that's what you have. And then as far, and of course this is cool because it's double-sided. It doesn't really matter because most of this is going to be covered up, but it is. And then I've got a length, and I kind of played around with a little jacket pocket to see what would fit in there, and it seemed like about 5 inches was going to cut it. But also I wanted to have it big enough so that I could round the corners, because it's going to be easier to tuck into a pocket when it's rounded on the corners. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's go ahead and do our bifold, right? So we're going to fold it in half. And again, the size that, if you want to do this, is going to depend on your own personal preference. It could even be smaller. It could be super, super mini. And we're also going to make it a little more secure by attaching an elastic band. And this coordinates with this pretty paper so that I can hold it shut. And this is something that, eventually it'll probably wear out. But the way I'm going to construct this, I'm going to be able to replace the little notebooks when, when I've used one up. And hopefully this will last for a while. So now I've got that done. So I've got it just folded completely in half. And now we're going to take this and fold this in half. Just like so. And make sure that closes, yep. And then the same with this side. Take that out of the way. Okay, let's make sure that folds. Yep, that's good. Bone folder it, okay. So this is gonna be the size of my little mini pocket notebook or pocketbook. So what I need to decide now, and it may come down to how this notebook is going to fit in here. This is the size of this one that I've already done, and we're going to make this one. But I just need to make sure that when the corners are rounded, it still fits properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to be gluing this shut after attaching this. We're going to be making a slot, and we're going to attach our little papers to a little piece of it's like that thinner chipboard that comes in. This comes in my Chewy orders. So that is going to tuck into a little slot here. So I just need to make sure. I think I am going to leave it a little bit longer like this, so that so that when I round the corners, I'm not running into my little notebook. So let's go ahead and round the corners. I wasn't sure, but I think we're going to be okay. And yes, I'm going to have to glue that part together, but that's okay. So look at that, isn't that cute already? And then we're gonna have our little band going over it like this to hold it shut. Make sure it's very secure. This is way too long. I'm gonna have to see, we need to try to make it as tight as we can. We need to do a couple of holes for our little band before this is glued down. We also need to make our slit. Let's make sure that this is right. I can always cut the notebook down. Yeah, that's gonna be good. So we're gonna make that slice in this backing, obviously, before we glue it down. And then we're only going to glue down, around the edges so that there's room for that to go inside. Hopefully. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, so let's make a couple of punches for this. And I'm just using, I could use a crocodile, but this is fine. So I'm just gonna go in about this far. This is really about as far as it'll go. Just like that. And just like that. Now the beauty of it is that having this glued down is going to, keep this better in here. What am I trying to say? It's going to keep it more secure. And I've gone in a little ways because this is rounded and I don't want it falling off of that part. Let's just pretend it has a nice long tail like that. Now you stay there. Here, let's do a paper clip of some sort. Put this down just to hold this where I want it to be. Just for the test. We're just testing this. I love doing junk journals and writing journals with this stuff too. That is going to be going in here like so. And of course we're going to have a little thickness of cards. Let's just pretend these are in here. This is not going to be, terribly thick. Unless you have a lot of cards you want to put in. And then this is going to come around. I want it to be fairly snug. Okay. And then it's going to have to come up and go in the pocket. See, or rather in the hole. I think that's pretty good. Let's cut it to about here. Okay, so let's get this in. And for this, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because I just think it will be the strongest glue, and I want to get this down so that it is nice and dry before we try to start sticking a notebook in here. Oh, that's a big lump. That is a big lump. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna clean that up. The only thing I have handy is a Kleenex, a tissue. It's clean. Because I have had a cold, I have Kleenex boxes all over the place. Okay, just pull that down just a little bit more. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now that that's down, we need to sort of, it's kind of hard to test it because this has to be down and I have to have this under it. So I'm gonna put this in and I'm gonna try to pull it fairly snug, and we're gonna try to test it the best that we can. Like that, and I'm going to hold on to that. That's a little loose still. I know we're going to have a couple more things. Okay, so it needs to be a little tighter and probably then also a little shorter. Okay. We want to make sure that this is going the correct direction. We don't want it turned in there. Okay, let's do like that. That's a lot, I know, but I want it to be nice and snug. Okay, so I'm gonna hold that as tight as I can get it. Okay, that's a little too tight. Okay, so I'm gonna loosen it just a little bit, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good, okay. That's why you cut it a little bit long to begin with, because you just don't know. And then I'm gonna go like this, put it off. Without cutting my finger off. Okay, let's get a nice little bead right here. Okay. Press that down. You know what I should do? Just to make sure that nothing gets caught on here, I should put, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put another little piece of cardstock or something to cover up, you know, the edges of this so that, you know, our little notebook doesn't get caught on it. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, let me do this. You know, you're like, how many times is she gonna test that thing? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's not bad, huh? Okay, let's just cut this to about, you know, just to kind of cover the edges of that. Okay, so I just basically did it so that it kind of covers up, you know, what's going on under here. All right, get that little guy down. Yeah, none of that is going to be seen, so that'll be good. Okay, so now we need to cut a little slit in this for our notebook to go in. But before we do that, how about, let me show you how I did this one, which I'm still allowing to dry. It's probably good now. Oh, well, yeah. The tape stuck on there. But I think that it is, that seems to be dry enough. It's a little tacky. But the idea with this is that, you know, you write on a page, you use it, you rip it off. So it's one of those kinds of little notebooks. What all I really did was I cut my papers and my little piece of chipboard about the same size. Well, they are the same size. And pounding it down like this to get it all the way down to the edge. Then I took a couple of paper clips to hold it here. Now, if you have a vise or something like that, you could use that. I don't, and you know, for this project, it didn't seem, you know, necessary. And then I'm using my PVA or my tacky glue, and I'm just putting a nice bead all across here. This is very easy. And then taking an old brush This is an old one. You don't want to use a good one because the tacky glue is not kind to your brushes. And I'm just kind of brushing it on, and I'm making sure that it sort of gets in. You know, you want it to kind of get in a little bit, just a little bit. Brushing that on. Now, if you want to, you can even do a little bit more. I think I did 2 on the other one, just to be sure, just to be safe. You can wipe off that excess on the front there. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of take my finger and go along here and kind of get some of that excess off. So just a light swipe to get off any big clumps there. Okay, so now I'm gonna keep these on. So now you're gonna take some binder clips and you're gonna go over the edges. And yeah, because there's glue there, it did stick a little. I'm sure that there is a more professional way of doing this. So now basically this is ready to go, and you're just gonna let it dry until, you know, it's not tacky anymore. And like this guy, and this feels pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so this is what we're gonna make our little slit for right here. And I'm guessing that once we start pulling these off, let's just do it. Oh, look, it worked. That it's gonna look a little bit neater because we've got the little bit of excess glue on the front there, but not much. Okay, so I'm gonna make a little mark with a pen or pencil to show where we want this to tuck in. I think somewhere right around here, because it's not gonna go, you know, it'll stick up a little bit higher than that. So I'm just gonna go like this. Okay, so let's see how that works. Now, if you're smarter than me, you'll do it on the opposite side. So you don't have a big heavy line showing, but I didn't think of that until afterwards. So I maybe should have made my little notebook a little narrower. I can still do that. I can still trim that. I might, because look at how close I'm getting to the edge. I think I'm gonna have to. I thought I had extra room for that, but apparently not so much, because we need to glue around the edges too. So, so I'm just cutting with my craft knife, this little guy here. I'm gonna stop here, okay? And that is how that is gonna work. So then this is gonna have to go in here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna have to be a little smaller. So I need to trim that down, and because we want that to fit nicely in here and still be able to glue all the way around the edges. Okay. Okay, so what I ended up doing, because I realized I really didn't need the whole, I didn't need the paper trimmed down. What I needed was the backing trimmed down. And so I just took the craft knife and kind of, you know, trimmed off a little bit on each side. Now I'm gonna kind of finish with the scissors. Because it's attached, I can't, you know, lay it down separate. But it's holding up really nice, so I must have done something right. So I just need this part to be, you know, skinnier. So now when you do yours, you'll do it the right way the first time and make sure that it is, you know, skinnier so that you can fit it in there. Okay, let's see. First, let me erase these lines. I guess it's not going to show anyway, but, you know, there's that part of me that cares. Okay, so let's stick him in here. So now it's a little bit narrower. It's gonna go like that. And there it is. Yeah, just like that. How about that? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so now it's time to glue this down. And it has to be just on the very, very edges. Just gonna go down like that. take your bone folder and press that down. I'm gonna wait until that's good and dry before I try to put my little notebook in there. I can, you know, if I have to, I can trim it down even more. So that is gonna go there. Okay, so let's make our slots for our cards, grocery cards, credit card, whatever. So keeping in mind that we're gonna have this glued all the way around, and there's not a lot of room in here, so I might get 2 or 3 cards in here. Obviously, you know, it is gonna stick out quite a bit because there's just not a lot of room. So I'm gonna make the first line where, so like this much of it's gonna be covered up right around maybe here. And then the second line for the second card is gonna go, let's see here. Maybe we should start with one at a time because I'm just not sure how this is gonna lay out. So let's cut this one and then we'll go ahead and cut the others. Okay. Obviously it has to be wide enough for a card. So about a little over 2 inches. Just gonna lightly draw a line here. Let's see, does that look pretty straight? It's a little crooked. We're gonna straighten it out when we cut it. Okay. And then does that fit? That fits. Okay. So I'm just gonna straighten this out a little bit as I cut. Okay. Okay. And again, well, I don't have to erase that part because it's gonna go in on the front. Okay. See, I did it right this time. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. So now I need to make another slit for another card. Yeah, it's just not, there's not a lot of room, so, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. So this is gonna be about here. And then this, I also need to like put a little bit of glue right above this slit so that the next card stops somewhere, if that makes sense. So let's say that the next one is gonna be maybe right about here. Oh, and I'm on the wrong side. Okay, let's do it from this side so we know we're doing it right then. It's gonna go here, and then this one is gonna have to stop about there. It's gonna go in, stick into a pocket right about here maybe. Okay. I'm just making this up as I go, you guys. I really am not sure. Okay. I'm kind of going by these little circles, but I'm not sure they're actually lined up. So they could be a little wonky. Okay. So let's see how that looks. So we've got one card here, and then we've got another one that's gonna go back behind it. Hey, that's pretty slick. I don't know if I do need to glue it. I might actually have room for one more slot. Should we do it? I'm gonna do it. I don't have to use it. Okay. You know, it might stick up a little too high, but we'll see. It can't hurt. Okay, so I'm just gonna eyeball this one. I'm just gonna go along this little line here. Okay, so this is gonna be a test when we're done. So I'm gonna glue this down now, and then you know, we're gonna see how this works. It's an experiment. Put just a tiny bit of glue above each of these. I know I said I wasn't going to now, but I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. It might be wrong. It might be wrong. Okay, I'm not gonna do it on the top one because I think that would make it stick out too far. I mean, we're gonna see how this works. So I'm sticking this down. I'm making this mistake so you don't have to. How's that? Probably a lot of mistakes. Okay, so I just want to make sure that This really is open here. Yep, that's open. Yep, that's open. And yep, that's open. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see if we can get our little notebook in here. I'm sure that we can. Tuck it in this little pocket. Just like that. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. Okay, let's see. This isn't real dry yet, but let's see how this works. We've got the old King Soopers card. Obviously, I would have a credit card or a bank card or something. I suppose if you had cash, you could make this different. You know, like you could make a flap, you know, and like glue this around. Oh, you know what you could do? You could like leave this part open under here and then stick cash in there. That would be great. I never have cash, so that is not a thing for me. And that is gonna go into here. And I can only push that down as far as, you know, right above this one for reasons so that it doesn't get lost back there. And then this, in this pocket, yeah, I can only go a certain amount there. It must have, I don't know, it might have glued together by accident, but that's okay. That's okay. Something could maybe be tucked in there or, you know, I just thought I'd try it. You know, it's an experiment. So, and you know, it actually might be easier to do it in this order. So you can see what the heck you're doing. Okay, like that and that. Make up my grocery list. Let's see, I always need eggs. Eat a lot of eggs around here. How about some bacon and some milk? And that's good. And close this little guy up. This is gonna fit right inside my little jacket pocket and it's super cute. Now you could put something on the front, you could embellish it, have your name, have what it is. But isn't that cute? I think it turned out really cute. It was an experiment and I think it worked out really well. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you was if you decided you did not want to do the glue method for your little notebook, you know, go ahead and do it the old-fashioned, my old-fashioned way anyway. I don't know if it's anybody else's, but where you just take your little papers and you staple them. Now it can't be too thick so that you can get your staple through. That's loud, I know. And then this is about, is it about an inch maybe? Fat, a little strip that obviously is this width. And I've made many, many little notebooks like this. And then you could just glue that on here. Put the glue like in the crease here. You know what, before we do that though, we could still do the little backing. Okay, so it's like this. And then you can also glue this onto this. So that way you still have your flap to stick in there. So let's see, let's do, and I already put the glue on here. We're gonna do this onto this. And then that is gonna go, oops, over everything, okay. I would have stapled it on, honestly, before, but I just thought of it. And like so, this is a little long, I can cut that off. So then you have another option for if you don't want to do the glue method, you do something like this, and you know, obviously this has to set up and everything. And then you've got your little flap to go in your little slot here. So yeah, so that works too. Okay, here we go. I guess I'll be heading to the store in a little bit. I've got all my stuff here. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you next time. Bye.